On March 13th, U.S. President Joe Biden approved the Willow Project, a large-scale oil and gas drilling operation in Alaska. According to a March 14th report by CNN, over 1 million letters were sent to the Biden administration against the project. To date, over 5 million people have signed a Chang.org petition to halt Willow. What is the Willow Project, and why is it facing unprecedented backlash? The Willow Project is one of the largest oil projects in the United States in decades, located on the north slope of Alaska. Over 600 million barrels of oil are expected to be extracted through this project over the next 30 years.
A quick recap of the Willow Project, a very large-scale oil and gas project in the National Petroleum Reserve of Alaska. NPRA, as we call it in Alaska, was set aside by the federal government decades ago for oil and gas development. Okay, because we need oil and gas. Billions in revenues from the federal government, for state government, for local governments in Alaska.
One of the main reasons this project has seen so much opposition is due to its effect on climate change. A large expanse of Alaska falls within the Arctic Circle, a region particularly vulnerable to the effects of climate change. It is estimated that the Willow Project will generate around 9.2 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions per year, equivalent to the carbon emissions from nearly 2 million cars running on fossil fuels, or the amount of coal burned to power 51,000 train cars.
We're only seeing more and more oil and gas development projects being promoted for profitability over our life, health, and safety. The city and the tribe have been working on this process for over 3 years. We have not wavered in our opposition to this project. The Willow Project should not be approved. The risk for our village is too high, and we are not the acceptable cost for approval of this project.
In fact, back in 2020, the Trump administration had already approved the project, but a federal district court judge rejected the development permits in August 2021, citing the lack of inclusive preliminary environmental assessment and insufficient climate analysis by its developer. After less than 2 years, the Biden administration reapproved the project, causing strong dissatisfaction among environmental organizations. Previously, President Biden pledged to reduce U.S. greenhouse gas emissions by 50% by 2030 and gradually transition the U.S. economy to clean energy. However, his actions are contradictory to his commitments, as he throws his environmental pledges under the bus.
Our government has the obligation to do everything it can to address this massive problem that's affecting us all. I mean, climate change is not an issue that affects only one state or even one nation.
Discussions about the Willow Project continue to rage on major social media platforms, with relevant hashtags such as #StopWillow and #StopWillowProject trending and gaining momentum. Varshini Prakash, the executive director of the Sunrise Movement, released the following statement. President Biden's decision to move forward with the Willow Project abandons the millions of young people who overwhelmingly came together to demand he stop the project and protect our futures. Despite widespread opposition and environmental concerns, the U.S. government is pushing ahead with the Willow Project, a 30-year plan that will have devastating environmental impacts. Economic gains have taken priority over the promises made to protect our planet. It is a clear indication that the problems in the U.S. run deep, and that grandiose promises made during presidential campaigns can ultimately prove futile, bringing the American people back to square one.